WJZZ Cool TV. You can watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and in all social media aspects. And we are the coolest station in the world. And today I want to make sure we tap into my two special guests again from last Friday. We have the incredible Tracy Peace. Woo! Founder of ABC for Justice. And to my left, we have the smartest man in politics, Al BJ Williams. So, let's begin. It is May the 9th. This Sunday is Mother's Day. So, Tracy, we will start with you. You want to give out talk about Mother's Day a little bit? Any inspirational,
Um,
anything about Mother's Day?
on Mother's Day, I don't get to spend with my mom because she's in Spain every year. But this year, my son is taking me out to lunch and to a Tigers game. Texas Rangers are playing. So I am looking forward to that. And I will be meeting my daughter's future in laws later on Sunday evening.
Oh, future in-laws. So your daughter is getting
Yes, she
married.
is.
Okay, Al, did you want to talk about anything about Mother's Day?
Well, Mother's Day is special, so it's always a special day. Although I think that in our community, Mother's Day should be celebrated every day. Um, but big shout out to all the mothers out there, specifically my mother. Um, Happy Mother's Day to her and to um, just the woman of my life who was a mother to so many others and kids. Tashana, happy Mother's Day to you. And we're
Oh,
celebrating big. You gonna get rid of that phone this weekend for Mother's Day. You are gonna do nothing this weekend. I promise you. So don't call her. Don't text her. Leave her alone. Let her celebrate her day and get spoiled by me just for a day.
see, and I was hoping that when you said that she was going to get rid of her phone, that you had gotten her a new phone and I could have her handing me down.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So
she actually has hand me down. She has about five of those somewhere. She won't give me that to give back, so I don't know what she will do with that.
I
But
don't. I have given them to you to give back. So I want to talk about mothers, and I want to say, of course, Happy Mother's Day to my mother, Denise Gill, and so I mean, I would just say, like, I mean, y'all know about y'all mother. I don't get to spend Mother's Day with my mother because she never wants to be bothered, which she doesn't like to be bothered, just period, right? But I do want to say that my mother is dynamic. Just as, like, my mother is the shit, okay? The strength people see, everything you see in me is not even half of what my mother is. So I am grateful and thankful that she is my mother. And like I was driving home yesterday, and I always drive if I'm on Southfield Freeway. I drive past this music shop that used to sell, like, everything that you needed if you were in a band. And I thought about when my mother usually used to walk up there to make sure I had the reeds for my clarinet, and just that just took me back to everything that she used to do for me, all the sacrifices she made for us, because I have two sisters. Um, and she just made it look so easy. But I thank God, because I think God places us with our parents, right? Like, we're placed with them. And I'm just grateful that I got placed with her, because just with all the rules and everything that she taught me about life, it's just been amazing. So I am thankful. I am grateful for my mother. We have to figure out what I'm getting my mother. If my mother probably just wants cash, she's a Capricorn. It's like, don't buy me the gift, just give me the money so I can buy myself the gift. But I am grateful to have my mother. Anything else on your mother?
No, I mean, I just think that that's special. I know that mothers all over the world, not just in this city or this country or just in our community, should celebrate and be celebrated. And it's
Yeah.
special that you can tell a story about how just passing a significant location
Man,
reminded you of how significant your
you
mother was to
have
you.
no clue. Like and my mother would tell you this, and she was like, she's very blunt and very outspoken. But you have no clue the sacrifices she made for. Like I said, I was in a ton of stuff at school, a ton of stuff, and it was a time where we didn't have a car, and she used to get on the bus and walk, and just to make sure that I had everything for school. Like other kids, they had it was easy for them. They had a car, they had certain. My mother sacrificed and made sure I had in just every detail, and she made like for every holiday. This is why I'm so big on decorations. For every single holiday, our house is decorated. If it's Easter, it's Easter everywhere. If it's Christmas, of course, it's Christmas everywhere. Like every holiday. It's not every season. If it's fall, it's fall all through the house. And she wound up going to work. And like it, but she never looked tired. She never looked exhausted. Like she made it look so easy to now where and then cooking a whole dinner, right? So now when I'm doing it, I'm wondering how the hell did she do all of this? Because she made it look so easy. Where when I'm raising my sons, I'm thinking, oh, this no. It while working and while dealing with our shit because she had three. It's three girls. It's three of us. So imagine, right? And so yeah, I'm just happy that I have her. I can appreciate it now. Like I started seeing it in my 20s when I was going through certain stuff to where like I mean she is like I man my mother is incredible but she will cuss your ass like she's so my mother is incredible. I will not be half the person I am if it wasn't for her. What did she say? She said she's the original,
I say she's the original.
but she said something smart too
Yeah,
when
you're just a replica.
she said I'm a replica.
Yeah, I said, yeah. Your mom's
Like she
definitely the
is
original.
like I was really blessed to have her. I'm really blessed to have her as my mom. That I know and I'm grateful for. So happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers.
Happy Mother's Day.
Um. So yeah. So let's get into these topics. I think we will do a quick recap on. We did kick off last Saturday the Wayne County Democratic Precinct Delegate Club. Special guest was Chris Swanson,
Chris
Sheriff.
Swanson, Sheriff Quinn Swanson, and Abdul.
Coleman Young came. Coleman
Yep.
Young Jr. came.
Abdul
The councilman
Saeed.
in it,
Yeah.
Abdul El Saeed came, which I've been loving all the interviews that he has been doing.
Chantel Jenkins.
Chantel Jenkins came. And the most important guests were the Wayne County Precinct delegates. And it was just a room full of power and knowing what's coming. But what did you think about it, Tracy? Because you cried. Tracy
Yeah,
cried.
yeah. So I'm 100% for Chris Swanson for governor. I've been doing some research on him, and he is just a phenomenal guy. He's the Genesee County Sheriff that he started Ignite, Ghost with human trafficking. He also was the Genesee. He was also the sheriff back in 2020 during the George Floyd protests, the Black Lives Matter protests, that they got to Flint's police station, and he said, "There's got to be a better way. What do you want me to do?" And they all said, march with us. And he laid down, he took off his helmet, he took off his hat, and he marched with the protesters. But not only that, he does so much work with returning citizens. And
That's
that
the
is
part that
something.
got me. That's the part that
Yep.
like, because a lot of people don't know that returning citizens is that is very close to my soul. I want to get more involved. I will get more involved because we plan on working with what's the young lady name from the organization?
Angela,
Yes.
Angela Davenport.
What's the name of the organization?
Uh, Voting access for all.
So we will get more involved in that, but returning citizens is very, very close to my heart. And let's get back to my mom again. What most people don't know, my father started off selling dope, then he turned to using dope, then he wound up in jail. And my mom just like the load got heavier, and we still didn't know the difference. And she like it, she's incredible. But the returning citizen just it is very close to my heart, and that touched me about Chris Swanson because he actually hires them, and not just hires them, like they play key roles in the jail.
Not
Like
only
it's
that,
crazy.
not only that, but for him to have returning citizens work inside of the sheriff's
That's what I'm
department,
saying.
he had to change legislation.
Yes.
He had to write policy and write.
But the thing is, too, let's get to this point. He had to stand with them because I'm sure along the way it was a fight. And it
Yep.
was times where he could have just said, look, I give up. This too hard. I can't fight for this anymore, right? I'm sure people turned against him, but he stood with them and made it happen. So that right there, I respect. I love his
And
personality.
and one of the things that he does as well is he takes the time where that people are incarcerated, and he provides education 2 hours a day. So this is something that I just thought was phenomenal. Few weeks ago, he was in Oxford, England, doing a conference, and who was there but Jelly Roll?
Oh, yeah, I saw the
Yep.
endorsement.
And but here's the thing. He went ahead, he was having a few weeks ago, he had a graduation ceremony for the prisoners that passed these classes that he did. It was a huge deal with caps and gowns.
But you know
It,
what this
it,
does? This affects women
yeah.
because women are the strongest people, like that deal with their sons being locked up. Not saying that men don't, but this is with this campaign, this is how you touch a woman's heart. It touched my heart, because we all know somebody that is
Yep.
incarcerated or had to deal with incarceration. And usually is the woman as
And he
and
believes in
he
second
is like their
chances.
strength in helping them real second chance.
Yep.
It's not just saying it, it's the actions. So anything on Chris Watson, Wayne County, because you did a dance there. You did a dance there that was like
I
them
got
some
that song on my ringtone now. That is my damn ringtone.
you did a dance there, like you had a good time.
You
Anything?
did, you danced too, but um, so I mean, I think that the kickoff of the Wayne County Precinct Delegate Club was amazing. It's been a long time coming, and to finally have a kickoff, to have that kind of um, turnout from precinct delegates from all over, and not just from Wayne County, but people came from other counties too. I thought was amazing. So we're going to continue to build that. And I think it's important to make sure that grassroots elected officials, the most grassroots elected officials, are celebrated and empowered. But on Chris Swanson, I mean, I think he's an amazing guy. I think that he has to show more substance to be governor. But I think he's an amazing guy. Got to be, the governor is this election for governor is about more. It's about a whole lot of things. One of the issues that needs to be talked about more than it has been is returning citizens and our people are treated within prison. We've had some issues in Michigan, some serious issues with privatization of prisons and how prisoners are treated. And then outside of that, we have a large population of returning citizens throughout this state. And in Detroit alone, it's damn near 50% of Detroit has felony. So, I mean, it's an important issue how that population um, continues to have the opportunities that they need in order to be productive in society and in Michigan. And so that is, but it's not the only issue. And I don't want him to make, this governor's race just about, how he's treated returning citizens or just about his experience as a sheriff, because you got so many other issues that are dealing with Michigan. So I like Chris Swanson. I think he's a high spirited, high energy,
Yes.
highly successful individual. He's a different kind of sheriff that we've never seen. But you got to remember, I'm a black man from Detroit, so I gotta see more than just him being a sheriff. I never really
But
liked cops anyway.
I agree with you on that. But the thing what this does is that yes, it's returning citizens, and we need to see more. But what it says is that he's not just talking the talk; he actually is doing it.
Yeah.
Because there's so many elected officials out there that talk about how they care about returning citizens or how they care about just how they care about returning citizens, but they don't do anything, right? Like they don't support them like wholeheartedly like he did. And it also goes if he treats them, that means he's going to treat all people like this in the same. Like everybody, for me, it says that everybody will have an opportunity. Now, yes, I want to know about policies and all that stuff, but I'm saying that first impression was a good one because in that room it touched so many black women hearts.
Well, I
It was
mean,
And
like,
you know,
wow, I wish you were our sheriff. You get what I'm saying? Like
and
that.
I,
Like,
and you know what?
seriously, because my baby in jail. You get
you know, and I and everybody knows this about me. I do not like cops. I don't like them. I look at them as bullies with badges. I've had enough. I've had enough running
and
with
he kind of
cops.
transformed that. Like, I don't like he transformed that. Like, because
I don't
everybody
like
think that
cops.
you don't want to talk to no cop. And I would never imagine a sheriff being governor until I met him.
Yep.
So I think that Jocelyn Benson, Garland Gilchrist, they have that Chris Watson, if he's able to get around the state, and once he's in front of people, it's we talking about the race. You get what I'm saying? Like if he can really get around the state and get in front of a lot of people, he will change people's mindset about a cop actually being governor.
yeah, I mean, I think that for a long time the state has promoted sheriffs as highly respected elected officials. You had many of them who have run for governor in the past on both the Democratic and the Republican side. Um, Sheriff Swanson, as I said, man, I mean, I like the guy. He's a good person. He's a good personality. Um, he got to be able to talk about
Issues.
other issues. He got to be able to talk
But
about
he can lead on
how.
this issue.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be able to talk about insurance and the still
Yeah,
skyrocketing cost of insurance. He has to be able to talk about
I
property
agree.
taxes. He has to be able to talk about jobs and economic
I agree.
development. And so, and provide solutions on all of those things.
Yep.
And I think that we can talk about security and public safety and all that. And I think he'll be an expert on all that. But, in order to win this election for governor for him, he just has to do two things. One, not fuck up.
Yeah.
Two, be able to expand his talking points. He has to be able to expand those stories to more than just being a sheriff and protecting the jails. And he can win. He's the only Democratic candidate from outside of Detroit. He's the only candidate that's not Republican that's not from Detroit. So that right there alone gives him an opportunity to spread his wings.
I think.
But I think too, because we got to go to another topic. I think that this is a good opener. I think he needs to talk. Like you said, I agree with everything you're saying. Everything you're saying. But the topic, this opens up the door because it's so boring now. I'm just gonna tell you, it's boring.
More than
I'm
a
saying,
year out. It's
no,
supposed to be
it's still
boring.
boring.
It's supposed
Like,
to be.
no, I'm saying I'm not interested in the candidates, right? I'm being honest as a voter. Don't do those faces because the honesty is what helps us win, right? I'm like, oh, same old, right? But his conversation and when he said that I've hired, we were having a conversation, and he said I've actually hired returning citizens, but told me the positions like he ain't hired them to sweep, he hired them in a good position. It made me want to know more. So that
Yeah.
conversation gets them into the door, gets them into somebody's heart, and people,
Because normally you're going to go ahead, you're going to run a sheriff for governor for whatever, and you're going to have the people in the city go, no, no on the
No, I'm
popo.
not.
Nope,
No.
nope, 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 no. He comes off, and I'm the sheriff of Genesee County. And don't listen to what I say, watch what I do. And then you see what
Watch
he
what
has
he's
done.
done.
And it opens, like you said, it opens and lowers defenses. Because I tell you right now,
It lowered it down. But let's
Yep.
talk about the other two. Right now, who do we have? We have Garland Gilchrist.
Yep.
And we have
Jocelyn Benson.
Jocelyn Benson. I think Garland Gilchrist's issue will be he has to run on the governor's record. Right? I mean, that's you're the
It doesn't have to.
you're the lieutenant governor. And if you don't plan to, maybe on some issues right now you could come out and say, I feel a little bit different. But I don't think he would do that, right? I mean, but for right now, you represent Governor Whitmer and you represent the administration. So I think that's what killed a lot of lieutenant governors.
I think Garland's problem is right. This is the first time ever that a governor, the sitting Democratic governor, is not endorsing the
That's
lieutenant
an issue.
governor.
That's
That's the
right
biggest
there.
issue. So that
That
says,
right there, I would say, was
Well,
mouth dropping.
yeah, that right there, that says a lot, not only about him and his relationship with Gretchen, but it also says a lot about Gretchen. It just so happens that this is the first time that a black man is sitting in the seat as lieutenant governor,
Governor,
and
you're
it's
not
also the first time that the sitting Democratic governor doesn't endorse the lieutenant governor. So that right there doesn't sit right with a whole lot of people, including me. But I think his other problem is, like I said,
Well, let's just say that doesn't sit right with me. That's it. That's the issue. How does it sit with you? Let's say
yeah,
our
no,
opinion.
no.
That was like what? Well, and then I think in an article it said, well, 'cause they said, well, it'll be the first time in this not have. What is? I forgot what she said in the article. I want to quote it properly, but that I did not like. That didn't sit right there. That because I think any candidate in the race
She
would have
used him.
understood. I think any candidate would have understood that this is presidents, right? This normally happens.
Well,
So I think Jocelyn Benson would have understood. Like,
no, what she
this is
said
what-
was that no lieutenant governor has ever gone
but
from
that's
lieutenant,
not that should
from
be her
lieutenant
issue.
governor to governor. But at the same time, no, there's never been a time that a sitting Democratic governor hasn't endorsed a losing
Right.
candidate, basically. So she wanted to change that. So she's not endorsing him, and hopefully, a lieutenant governor will win one day. That's basically what she said.
I don't like that. Did not sit well with me. I know that didn't sit well with a lot of black people. I'm just gonna
Yeah, no,
because
because
we talk no tech
Well,
like what the
it
hell.
shouldn't sit well with a lot of Democrats.
But I'm
either.
just saying, I was just talking about the black. Like it did not sit well, and it should not sit well with a lot of Democrats because it's the first time this has happened.
Yeah, so it's like for instance, you ask Democratic leaders to step up and serve in the position
And he did
of
that.
service,
He did that.
which he did.
He
Use
did
his
that.
name.
He did that
Put
well.
his name and his
He did
image
that
out there.
well.
He did what he needed. What
He
was
did
asked
it
of
well.
him by
Yeah,
the party.
he did everything that was asked for him.
Yeah, by
And
the
he
party.
even pulled back when they said pull
Pull back,
back.
right.
When they said go, he went.
Yeah.
He did everything
And then,
that was asked
and then
of
when
him.
it's time for the party to step up for him, she says, "We're not gonna be
Hold
there."
on, we're not
Yep.
doing it.
That's horrible.
It's
It
wrong.
is.
That
It
makes
is.
that makes people not want to step up
It's
to,
wrong.
for the party.
It's like, will I be used,
Yes.
or will you say "fuck me" when
Yes.
it's my turn?
That's horrible.
So that's like
So-
I feel like, and I don't know how he feels, but I just want to let you know, Lieutenant Garland Gilchrist, we feel like the Democratic Party and the governor saying "fuck you."
The governor said
I-
that, not the
I
party.
think,
The governor
said
I
said
the
think
party.
that
The
I
governor
think
is
that,
saying
that
And I think that's horrible.
it looked like a white woman went ahead and used a black man,
I
put
mean,
him on the
that could be
ticket.
said too.
All right, because he bring the black people from Detroit to go ahead and vote. All right, and I think the best thing that the Michigan Democratic Party could have done was to everyone get behind Garland
Well, right now
Gilchrist.
they
Well, that's-
can't because you
it's a
gotta
nom-
stay
it's a
out of.
process.
It's a process.
It's a process.
It's a
You don't wanna
process.
do that.
The governor should have done what other governors did
Yeah.
and endorsed the person who has been stuck there with her through
Yep.
the 8 years,
Yep.
who have been through the trenches with her through the 8 years, through COVID, through all of that. He did
Yep.
what you asked him to sign up for. You asked him to be the lieutenant governor. He stepped up and brought his family with him and did that. And that would have been the right thing to do. But she chose something else and nobody said anything. But I think it's wrong. I
Yeah.
think it's wrong.
So, and that's going to be a problem for her in the future. She shows no loyalty.
That's not loyalty at all.
She shows no loyalty to the party. She's not showing loyalty to the people who stood up and stood in the gap of leadership for her. And obviously, she hasn't
Because
shown.
just think about
She's
it.
not showing loyalty to Michiganders because even during lame duck, if Trump was the governor of Michigan, and I'm not a fan of Trump, but during lame duck, if he's seen his party not stepping up to the plate to get things done for his people, he stepped up. He would have stepped up.
He would have
Dur-
pulled them in the office and
Yeah.
said, "Oh, y'all gonna vote this way."
And during lame duck on the Democratic side in the state of Michigan, during lame duck, we got nothing done
And I
for the
hate
people,
that-
and she wasn't there. She
I
didn't step
hate
up.
that what's
didn't step
called
up
it
to
took
do
the
anything.
total blame for it. I
Joe
do
Tate,
hate
yeah,
that
yeah, I
because
hate
we
that.
had we have a Democratic governor, and Joe Tate right
Once again,
now,
black man taking
like
fall.
I can't even see how he is. I know it has to be hard for Joe Tate. I just know it has to be hard. And another black man like Garland, like because Garland has been through a lot with the history of working there. Like his family probably had to endure a lot.
Joe's
Yes,
not a bad guy.
she had death threats, but what happened to his family? You get what I'm saying? Like when she was going with it, Garland was going through it too. Now Joe Tate is another black man that was in leadership that I feel got left out there to take the fall for everything. Now, if I was him, I would have handled stuff a lot differently. I would probably have been more stronger and more vocal. But we had a trifecta. Where were the leaders over him to help him bring people in? So I just feel that a lot of people take downfalls for other people, and it's just wrong. So hold on, let me do this. We're watching Politics with the Princess on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. You can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all other media aspects. And we are talking, of course, politics with Tracy Pease and Al B.J. Williams. So I also want to talk about, we're going to have to get to the Detroit race with city council and mayor. But we can close out the Governor Whitmer interview. I want to tap into this because she did an interview. It was a podcast interview with this guy called the Dave Packman Show. And I think, Tracy, actually, you sent it to me.
Uh-huh.
So I proceed to watch the interview. And again, I really want to do it verbatim. So we'll go back and watch the interview. But my perception of the interview was incompetent. It made her, whoever told her to say, because he asked her questions like, well, did you know that Trump was going to pull you into the room? And then she said, well, I walked out of the room and I came back into the room, but I would advise y'all to watch the interview yourself. Well, did you, because he said, when I went there, they told me it was a camera here, a camera here, a camera here, a camera here, right? Well, did you know it seems like you didn't know Trump was going to pull you on the stage, right? Oh, well, like, or it's like Trump set her up. Okay, if you get set up one time, okay, cool. But if you get set up 3 times, okay, cool. So that lets me know if you do decide to be president, will you get set up? Like, that it didn't come off well. You can take it from that angle. And now I would ask, like, who is advising? Because again, I think that we had John James to go get on stage and shake a hand. John James could have shook the hand. You could have been the person that made the deal behind the scenes. What Democrats want right now is a fighter and somebody not standing next to somebody who's actually shipping people away. And I know she has to work with him. He is the president. I understand that, but
She don't need to be giving him a hug.
The hug, visual and perception is everything. And I know the team is thinking this will help when she runs for president and it brings the independents over. Independents are pissed at Trump right now. It will not. Whatever. I guess they probably know more than us. I could just. I don't. But the interview did not come off as I know what I can do if I'm president. It did not. It came off as I believe this guy is setting me up, and I'm continue to fall for it.
Yep. And they were in it. I think it was
watched it 3
newbie. I
times.
think it was
I watched
newbie.
it 3 times to try to get a different perception.
She was
It made
making
it
rookie
say-
mistakes. Too.
But it's like I forget the mistakes. The thing that kept catching me is that he kept. Do you believe that he said you? I will say this. This is what I would say if I was her. Even if I knew it was a setup, I had to be there for Michiganders, so it didn't matter. I would say that. I wouldn't give the perception that I'm weak and I got set up. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter what I was walking into. I was going there for Michigan. Not saying that people would like that better, but it doesn't make you look incompetent like the damsel in distress, like you keep getting set up. Because for a president like Hillary Clinton had, you want strength. You want somebody that know what's coming before it even comes. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want somebody that can see around a block from standing right here. I don't want somebody like, oh, I don't know, maybe.
You're right. I don't want my governor playing the dumb blonde role, or I don't want my president playing the dumb blonde role.
I know.
That's basically what she was doing. She was playing the dumb blonde role. She that was her.
And that's not her, because I know that's not her. So I'm like, is somebody telling her to say this? Because it's like wrong. Like, say, I went there, and although I know he's going to do these things, it was important for me to go there because I needed to get this done for Michigan, flat out. And he's going to come. We know Trump. He's going to come with all the this and the that. He's going to come with that. It's going to be tricks. But I got to walk into the tricks to get stuff done for Michigan.
And you know
Boom.
what? I would have more respect for a governor that would say, look, I knew going in
that he was going to be an idiot.
but this is my job. This is what
my
I
job.
got to do.
Boom.
All right.
So that interview did not come across to
You
me
know.
very well. I was like, oh my God, I was cringing because that's not her. Usually she's, because she said it in another interview. She actually said it. I had to go there for Michiganders, so it doesn't matter. I got to work with anybody. That's what she could have kept.
That's not true though.
But I'm not saying if it's true or not. But the interview that she did about, oh my God, I didn't know. Like it comes off as okay. So
how many Democratic governors are there? She's not the only one. There are like, I don't know, 23, 24 of them.
How many of them are there giving him a hug?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So even in the role as governor, there are ways in which to work with the federal government. And being in the office when you know there is nothing but media at the White House all the time, especially with this president. How do you not know that going before you even get on the plane? How do you not know that?
Well, the
I'm still trying.
And then wait a minute, and then that's the first thing. And then the second thing is most of the things that she does with the president, other than the time that he came to Michigan, could have been handled over the phone.
Yeah.
Everyone else is having phone conversations with it. Even world leaders they're not showing up to give him a hug until the second or third conversation. She's showing up basically hat in hand, and this is not only her way of being governor, but it's also, I believe, her strategy of introducing herself to the Republicans and independents throughout this country. Who may be soft on Trump. This is her way of introducing.
But the independents, if you look at the polling, are like leaving
which is
him
a sad
right
way of
now.
introducing yourself.
Right. I just think that's what I'm saying. I think her team is thinking not about Democrats right now. They're thinking about let's prepare you now for the next 4 years, right? And I understand that. But all I'm saying is that interview.
That's a horrible strategy.
I'm just maybe that's the only thing it could be. What could it be?
Like
I don't
play the dumb blonde.
No, that's wrong.
Play the dumb
No,
blonde.
I think
What
on
the
this,
hell?
I think
It's
on
a
this,
horrible
I
strategy.
think on this interview, the Dave Packman interview, that I don't know. I like because it played like the damsel in distress. Like I said, it's like you're dealing with somebody that's full of shit. They full of shit. So wait, when you go to this meeting, you be like, I know this person full of shit. They're gonna be doing this. But you come prepared, right? And you claim that. You don't say, oh, I didn't know. No, you know this person full of shit.
The problem is what I see is it looks to me like the governor is scared of Donald Trump.
No, That's
You
one
know,
thing.
I
But
don't think that
but
that's not Gretchen. Gretchen's usually not scared
But-
of anything.
I
so
understand
don't-
that, but you know what?
Gretchen was
used-
scared to come to Detroit.
Yeah, I
Well,
know
that's-
damn way.
she's
I
right.
would
Gretchen
go ahead.
came to Detroit.
She was
okay,
scared to come.
There is
came
no
to Detroit.
damn
She was
way
scared.
as a woman
like I
that
think
I would
that I
ever
think
have
it's
that
something else.
man.
I just think it's
put his
bad.
arms on
I think
me.
it's bad advice. I think she has a gut that was probably saying something else because it was another show where her first instinct, I'm just telling you, her first instinct, I gotta pull up the show, I'll bring it back, said, I have to do whatever I need to do for Michiganders. It like she claimed it. You get what I'm saying? I don't care. Like it was,
So
I
you're
saw
blaming her actions on her advisors?
it. People have advisors they listen to. I don't know. Okay, so next
They told her
topic.
to hold the folder up.
I'm not talking about the folder. I'm talking about
I
the
think-
David.
They told her to play the
Pac-Man.
dumb drum.
I'm talking about the David Pac-Man interview.
She listened. So is it still their fault?
I think that
I'm just
not-
I think
okay,
the issue
next
is
topic.
is
I'm
that
just saying.
she does have instincts, but I don't think she's going with them. All
She
right,
needs to go in her
and
instinct
because
and just be strong and claim it. Like you're in it now, claim it. Like
I mean,
don't-
does she not
don't
remember?
Don't make it feel like Donald Trump just keep getting you. Cause that's like, okay, so if he just keep getting you, will Putin get you if you're president? Like, don't make it seem like, oh my God, he got me. Like,
I just want to remind all Democrats this is the same governor that made sure that Mike Duggan's son was hired as a campaign
How do you know
manager.
that she hired
This
him?
is the same governor. That
How do you
made
know
sure-
she was responsible for that?
Well,
We gotta talk facts. We don't know
they're
if
saying
she
that
was
she was the
responsible.
leader of the
And
party.
we're
so,
not okay.
This is
So-
the same. This is the same governor that ushered in this insurance reform. So if your insurance, this is the same governor that said, "Let's fix the damn roads." Then now, I love Gretchen. I think she's a great person. I really do. I think she's a great person to drink a beer with. I think she's a cool person. But I also believe that as a Democrat, me as a black man from the Michigan Democratic Party, I believe that that we need to move on and look for better leadership. Right now, she cannot be leading the party in the state or this country.
I
She
think
is Republican
yeah.
light. She is not hardcore Democratic, and she is not the person that we need to bring this party back.
I
Okay,
think it's
so-
because this is her. I also think this is because it's her second term. Because she did do a lot of good.
And Isaac
During the
Robinson
pan-
said
Wait,
that
too.
8 years
Pan-
ago, by the way. The same thing that I'm saying now. My good friend Isaac Robinson was saying
Isaac
this
Robinson
when she
said
was
she'll
first
be a
elected.
one-term governor.
when she was first elected.
So,
that's exactly what he said. She's Republican light. and she's
What
gonna
I
be a
will
one-term
say
governor.
too, and I'll talk about that. And where are we going to? Let's go to the Detroit mayor's race and the Detroit City Council race. So there is an article, if somebody can pull it up, and let's go through the candidates that are in the races for city council. Tracy, did I send it to you?
Yeah, I believe you did.
Okay, can you pull it up and so we can go through the names really quick, like the districts
You
where
talking about
people.
the Bridge Detroit article?
Yeah, the bridge. We will quote what the Bridge Detroit article printed.
Big shout out to Malachi Barrett and everybody.
That
at Bridge Detroit.
Malachi, we're quoting your article, Malachi. And he did this article May the 7th, 2005. And it gives a list of all the people who are in the race. We'll start with city council at large. We'll do the mayor's last. And so city council at large, we have, is it Levin Adams? I think I heard that name. Janae Harris, James Harris, Shakira Hawkins, Gary Hunter, Valerie Parker. I thought Valerie Parker was. Okay, never mind. I know Valerie Parker. Incumbent council member Mary Waters. Incumbent council members Coleman Young. We'll read all the races and then we'll comment on them. City Council District 1 is only one person. He has no competition.
James Tate is
James Tate. He's already reelected. Unless somebody writes in. District 2, we have Roy McAllister, State Rep Helena Scott, incumbent, and what is her name? Angela Calloway. District 3 is
That's the biggest race.
what is her name?
District 3, you have
How you pronounce it?
Constantana Anderson.
Constantana Anderson, and incumbent Scott Benson. District 4, this lady so smooth. She don't have no incumbent. She don't have no competition either. Letitia, incumbent council member Letitia James. That means she's doing her
No,
job so
it's
much.
Letitia Johnson.
Letitia Johnson. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about.
Detroit City Councilwoman Letitia Johnson, who is a fighter
She gotta
just
be
like
phenomenal.
Letitia James.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, Letitia Johnson, but she don't have no competition, which means she's doing her thing over there. And you got to say that about James
And
Tate.
that's on the southeast side of Detroit, and so you're
The two furthest sides don't have no competition.
Yeah.
District 5, George Adams Jr., Willie Burton, Michael Hurt. This is I don't even know that.
Esther Hogbook.
Tawana, is that Tawana Jackson?
Tatiana.
Tatiana Jackson.
Renata Miller,
and
Michael
Richard.
Richard,
Michael
Michael
Richard.
Richard. That's supposed to be Richard, but whatever. City Council District 6, Tyrone Carter and the incumbent got back on the ballot. Council member Gabriela Santiago. What's her last name?
Romero.
She's back on the ballot. District 7, Bobby Johnson, Denzel McCampbell, State Rep Karen Whitsett, Regina Willis Ross, who has run so much, people think she's elected, by the way. And so, with the city council races, what are we thinking? What race stands out for you? At large, what are you thinking about at large?
I mean, nobody's gonna be able to beat Coleman at large, so he's gonna be in there. I think Mary Waters has done the job to put her name out there enough to win citywide.
She has a strength with seniors too, though.
Well, I mean, absentee voters. I mean, so I think that at large, your challenge is the only person that's really going to have a challenge is going to be Mary Waters. But I really believe that she's done the work. She's put her name out there. She is the quiet storm on city council that has stood the test of time for the people. And so I don't think that anybody's going to be able to put any kind of resume up against Mary Waters in that race to convince anybody to vote against her. I mean, you got to think that she's been a state rep, she's been a state senator, she's been a councilwoman, she's run for Congress, she's spoken out on issues that have been important to everybody. She's fought cancer. I mean, her resume is very long personally and politically. And I don't think any of the challengers can muster up that kind of resume, nor the kind of activity that they need to muster up to run citywide. All these people that are challenging her are newcomers. Now, I like a lot of them, like the young
police
man,
chief,
not the police chief, the fire.
the fire chief. I'm sorry.
I think he's got a future in politics.
But he
Absolutely.
gotta fight if he's trying to take his seat.
If he wants
And
to
he's been out there working, but that's a fight to get those
and
seats.
so for all of those challengers, this is what I'll say: there is no beating Comey.
Nope.
You're
Nope.
just not gonna be able. Don't even think about it.
Yep.
There
Nope.
is no beating Comey.
Nope.
You can, and beating Mary is going to be hard. And so
But with
I
hard
appreciate
work
the
and
effort.
commitment.
You can do it.
Yep.
You can do it. But beating
So,
Mary Waters
you're not
is going to
gonna
be
Hold on,
hard.
beat
we
COVID
gotta
young
speed through some of these because we don't have that much time. What about Council District 2? This one right here.
That's the biggest district race.
This right here, this race right here.
Everybody in that race got a name.
Because for me, it's not Helena Scott, it's the young man who worked for her.
Well, yeah, that's the highest. So district
What's his
two,
name?
Helena's George Humphreys or Greg Humphreys.
Greg Humphreys works his ass off.
Well, yeah, he does, and she has a great staff. And Roy has a good team too.
Roy has a great team, but Roy is out there knocking doors. Like
Right.
Roy is out there.
And so this is my city council.
Roy, just stay in your district.
Yeah, this is my city council district. This is this is one of the most coveted council districts. District 2 has the highest turnout of all council districts at the polls. These are the neighborhoods like University District, Palmerwood, Sherwood Forest, Bagley Community, the northwest side of Detroit, high voter turnout area. So you're always in this race, you're always going to see names of people who have been elected before or have some sort of political power. So this is a very, very, very contentious race. I don't believe that the incumbent has it in the bag.
So we'll come back to District 3. I want to talk about District 5, which has been who's on the ballot, who's not on the ballot, who's on the ballot, who's not on the ballot. Now that we know who's on the ballot, I see Willie Burton name, which I think Willie Burton is gonna be hard to beat. Like I said earlier, if none of them are able to raise a lot of money, Willie Burton, I think, will be victorious. Like if they're all on the same level financially, because Willie Burton is always on the ballot. Willie Burton, people think he's a commissioner, but he's never left the community.
Yeah, if there was
Never.
if there was no money in politics,
That's what I'm saying.
Willie Burton will win this race. And I agree with that. If
That's
there was no money in
interview
politics.
Willie
Yeah,
Burton.
because Willie Burton,
I'm gonna look at the fundraising in this race.
for some reason, he don't have to do nothing.
Nothing.
But put his name
on the ballot. It
and
will
he
be
wins.
Willie Burton.
Yeah,
I did
so
not
that-
know Willie Burton was
Yeah.
running in this race.
Yeah.
I saw his name. I was like, holy shit.
So this race is very particularly interesting because of what has happened. There's been some redistricting going on. There were more candidates who filed. This is Mary
Some fighting to get back on the ballot.
Some fighting to get back on the ballot. This is Mary Sheffield's seat, and so this is a very business
district.
business district, a large community grassroots district too. I mean, you got a whole lot of apartments, and the most senior homes in the city are also in this district. So this is highly coveted.
Yeah, the most
too.
senior homes in the city.
Yeah, so this is a highly
How is
coveted.
it
This is
going?
downtown. This is downtown. So highly coveted, hot race. A lot of great candidates.
We're gonna look at the camera
This
that
is
way.
something that we need to continue to watch.
Right up here. How is it going with just straight? How is it going with Chantel Watkins, who was a candidate on the ballot? Now she's fighting to get back on the ballot. Just tell us really quick about a minute so we can go to.
You know what? Unfortunately, because it is still in litigation, I
don't know.
I can't. Yeah, I can't say anything.
So Chantel Watkins is a candidate for District 5. She got removed from the ballot about not having enough signatures. Valid signatures. So she's going to litigation to try to figure that out. But she's heavily in the community too. And so you can go to Tracy P's page or Chantel Watkins' page to find out more. Chantel did a letter letting the community know that she is not going to stop this fight.
Nope,
And she's not the only candidate that was.
Bonnie.
There were a couple other candidates that weren't allowed to get on the ballot, and this is because of some redistricting issue with District 5. So this is something people need to pay attention to. One, because there may be the clerk may not have done the job of informing people of the new district. They have to maintain information and give that information out, especially for these elections. And some people are saying that the map wasn't right or wasn't accessible.
All I know is that the signatures that was given to Chantel that she gave to the city clerk, those signatures were valid. I QC'd them myself, and I will die on that hill.
Okay. So we got to go to the next because we're running out of time. So you will follow up with this story for us next Friday. Okay. So a poll came out about this mayor's race.
You know what I'm talking about, Gabrielle?
We can't. We'll talk about it next time. Gabriella got put on the ballot. She fought the clerk and she won.
Yep.
Big race
So,
in District 6.
That District 6, Gabriella and Tyrone. Who do you think will come victorious?
You know,
Keep it short.
that's a big race. I don't know. I like Tyrone. I like Gabriella. You know, she's been there. She's the incumbent. Tyrone has been elected to other positions, so that's a big race to watch. You know, who's running Southwest Detroit, African Americans or Hispanic Americans.
So, as a poll came out, and we'll say who the poll is done by. Target Insight for the mayor's race, right?
Do we have to talk about
We
the
have
poll?
to talk about this because we have to talk about the.
Can I be honest about the poll?
No, we're talking about the poll.
Can I be honest about it?
Okay, so
I'm just saying. The poll
the
is
poll done by Target Insight
heads or polls.
of Lansing showing City Council President Mary Sheffield leading the pack in the Detroit mayoral race with 32%, and Reverend Solomon Kinlot leaping into second with 25%, a dramatic bump from 5%. So he had a 20% gain. It has Santel Jenkins at 7%, is down from 12%. It has Todd Perkins at 5%. He was at 4% at the last one. Dirt Hall is at 2%, which I just don't understand. That
Yeah,
this
that's crazy.
doesn't seem right.
That's stupid.
It doesn't make sense. Anyway, John Barlow is at 1%. Undecided, and unsure is at 10%. What do we think about the numbers? Or just what do we think about the race?
I think it's hard to believe this poll. I think I believe Mary Sheffield is clearly in front. I absolutely believe that. I think that Ken Lock has gained some momentum. Absolutely. 20%, I don't know. That's questionable. Dirt Hall being as low as he is very questionable. And Chantel Jenkins being as low as she is extremely.
That's questionable. I'm
That's
like,
extremely questionable. So this poll was a robo dial poll, I do believe, which is not the best kind of poll to do. The robo dial poll is not the best kind of poll to do. But I truly believe that Ed Zarpolis is I'm not.
Ed Star pollers have been polling for years.
Yeah, just because you do a poll don't mean that it's done right.
I'm just saying that I have seen doing, door dashing around Detroit and stuff. I have seen a lot of Mary Sheffield lawn signs out. I haven't seen anybody else, but I mean, I've seen a lot of Mary. I would get a Mary Sheffield sign if I could, but it's not going to help any in Hazel Park.
No, it wouldn't. But you know what, though? It's still May. It's really early. Most people don't buy yard signs this early. Right. Most people don't distribute yard signs this early. So I appreciate I appreciate her activity, her enthusiasm.
And sometimes just because they got a yard sign don't mean they're gonna vote for you.
I know.
Like yard signs,
yard signs don't vote.
So now before we go, we'll talk about that. But before we go, I like to close with
that poll is bullshit, by the way.
I like to close with what do we think the state? Oh, I want to make an announcement too. Well, I'll do that in a minute. The state of the Michigan Democratic Party is. Yeah, we always talk about this. What's the state of the Michigan Democratic Party? What leadership and all these races? I just want to know.
The Democratic Party as a whole nationally is in a bad position. We have to regain our footing. We've been here before.
What's the is it a congressman from, is it North Carolina? When he basically said that it's the media fault that people perceive the Democratic Party as being in a bad position.
I don't believe that.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I'm not a Republican.
It's how the media convey the Democratic Party that's heard it. He's a Democrat.
I'm not buying into the MAGA strategy of blaming the media for everything. Mm-hmm. So, but I think it's on us. I think we have done we haven't done our party right. We haven't done our members right. We haven't fought on the issues that are important to the pillars of the party in which we started. We've gotten away from which we began. The party isn't going anywhere though. The Michigan Democratic Party and the Democratic Party as a whole is not dying. It's changing. And so we need to adjust and get back to the basics. That's what we got to do. The Michigan Democratic Party, I think, it's changing. We got new leadership, and Curtis, and I'm gonna give him a chance to get his feet wet before I start dogging him out.
I think he has a lot to deal with.
He has a whole lot.
That's what I think.
He has a whole lot to deal with.
Follow up when we went to the.
I don't envy
Central.
him.
When we went to, I know you don't. I know you don't. At all. We went to State Central, and there was everybody. Oh, well, I want this. I need this. I need this. I need this. Nobody said, "How can we help you?"
Yeah.
I don't think people understand that it is a full on, like, you need everybody. And again, what we do, like what I do, I love. I love training. I love promoting. I love organizing, right? And that's the way I can help, because anybody I basically train or organize and promote, we promote that they be a member of the Michigan Democratic Party, right? Because the majority of them are Democrats, right? We might have one moderate person who thinks that they're a Republican. Literally one is a guy. But what I will say is that I think Democrats have to think of it as everybody has to chip in. This one person that has been elected cannot solve all your problems. Any person that has been elected cannot solve all your problems.
He'll even tell
You
you
have to help
that. Can't.
your elected officials solve the problems. You just can't send them somewhere and say, why haven't you solved my problem? That is not how it works. Now, they are supposed to stand up for people. And the issue that I have closing out, because we did start a little late, but I want to say this. Who, when I say the state of the Michigan Democratic, the state of the party, the Democratic Party,
Restructuring.
who is standing up for people? I see nobody.
Yep.
I see everybody scared to say anything. And what I want to remind people, when history is written, like during the Hitler times, it will be said who stood by and said nothing because you were scared. It is so many people in power, I mean real power, that are not saying anything and just going along and trying to make it so their family is comfortable. That is wrong. And I commend Wanda Hamu for making the clear statement.
Yeah.
She's not, people say she's attacking Democrats. She is not attacking anybody. She makes statements that are true, and Democrats are like, oh my God, you're attacking us.
Yep.
No, she's not attacking.
I
She
know.
makes true statements. So I commend her for that. But somebody right now needs to stand up for everything that is going wrong. Like it's some bad shit happening, and none of our leaders are saying nothing.
Yep.
And you will be marked in history as the person who said nothing. Because when you say nothing, you condone it.
Yep.
By saying nothing. So that's all we will close
And
on.
how do you go ahead? How do you go ahead and say, okay, what can we do to help? How can we help when you don't trust the people to begin with?
That's
I
what I
don't.
agree with that. And Al, what do you want to close on before we close out?
You're absolutely right. I mean, I think we have a whole lot of leaders in this state. They're smaller leaders, not elected officials. We need to stop believing in our elected officials to lead our party and on our issues. It needs to be community driven. We need everybody to stand up. We need leaders everywhere. So it's not just one person, about one person
No, it's
standing out.
everybody. It's a
No, I'm with you.
movement.
No,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But I think the reason why we don't have that right now is because we put too much into our elected officials. And we need to put more into our community leaders, more emphasis on community-driven leadership, and less emphasis on the janitors that get elected every other year. Those are just our janitors that we put in place to push policy. We are the true leaders we need to be supporting.
Yeah. So on that note, you were watching Politics with the Princess on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. You will see us three back next week. Maybe we will add an extra person. We don't know, but maybe if they have something interesting to say. But watch us next week at 1:00. Thank you guys for joining.